Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. OJ here again with another tutorial. Today I'm doing unboxing and setting up tutorial step-by-step guide on OneKey Classic, the brand new hardware wallet that I just started using. In my previous video I did a review on it. I even interviewed their head of business development, Sean Han, who was actually very kind to join me in a conversation and discuss all the security features and other things that are really important for any hardware wallet user. So make sure that you catch this video if you haven't seen it. I will link it in the description below, and also it will pop up at the end of this one. Also, we run a giveaway, so congratulations to the person who won this giveaway, one of these devices, for free. More giveaways will be coming, so make sure, guys, that you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure that you enable the notifications so that you know when I'm posting a new video. Now, today's video is going to be in 3 parts. First, I will be doing unboxing, so I can show you what actually is in the box when this device arrives. Then I will be doing the setting up guide, and I will be setting up as a new device. And in the end, I will be doing a transaction. So this will be the third part. I will be receiving first and then sending a transaction from this device so that you can see the whole process. So if you need to skip any of this, you can use the timestamps in the description below. If you need to, maybe you're not interested in the unboxing, or maybe you just want to see exactly how the transaction goes, you can use the timestamps in the description for that. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, well, welcome to another episode of Crypto Corner. Now let's get started with the unboxing of the OneKey Classic. Alright, well, I've been waiting for this. Let's open the box. Let's find out what is in the box. Okay, well, first what I'm seeing is that here we have these stickers. So this is indicating that it's not been opened before. So if these are damaged, you already know that something is wrong. It is quite a tight fit, so it is difficult to open it. Right. Well, of course, first we have some marketing materials, cards and everything. Alright. And there is a getting started. This is the guide. So of course you're gonna follow my step-by-step guide, but you also have this one here. Here is the device. It is as thin as a credit card, pretty much. Almost as, it's basically the size of 2 credit cards. This is so far the thinnest, lightest, I wouldn't say most compact, because Ledger is still a little bit smaller than this. Ledger is about this size, but Ledger is much thicker, so this can easily fit in your pocket and nobody would even know that you have it. Perfect. Okay, we have a cable, USB-C. This is probably where you can write your recovery phrase. So you have a few of these sheets. Of course, this is very important. This is where you're going to be writing your recovery phrase. So you have 3 of these in case you are doing restore and you're setting it up several different times, or maybe you on purpose want to set it up with 3 different accounts. In this case, you have 3 different seed phrases and the recovery sheets. It's very important to have it written down physically, because that is the safest way. Of course, the safest way is actually to have a metal backup. One of those metal cards that in the past I've done tutorials and I've shown you before. I'm using steel cards, because with those you are fireproof and waterproof as well. With unfortunately, with just paper, you are not water or fireproof. So this is still better than just saving it digitally though. Alright guys, now the next step of course is to start the setting up process. So let's begin. First, I'm going to turn on the device. I have to press on that button a little longer for a few seconds, and it's starting up. Okay, I'm gonna select English, and as you can see here with the buttons, this last button is the one that I'm going to press when I'm confirming whatever it is. And then with these two buttons, I'm going back and forth. So this is basically a left and right button to confirm, to go back, or to go forward. These are the buttons. And then this first button is the starting button, the turn on. Okay, so I'm selecting English, and then I'm continuing. Now, I don't really need the guide because I already have the guide. I know what it is, but you can click on that guide if you want. Let's go now to create. And also you have an option here to restore. This is if you've already used another device and you already have your seed phrase, or maybe you've used a different device, but you have a seed phrase that you want to sweep into this device. This is where you can use here the restore function, and it's going to ask you for your seed phrase. But I'm going to set it up as a first time, so I'm choosing create and I go next. Alright, and I go next again. Select the number of mnemonic words. Now, as I said in my review as well, you actually have a choice of 12, 18 or 24 words. For this tutorial, I'm going to use 12 words just because it's quicker, easier to set it up and everything, but I will select 24 words for my personal use later on, because of course I'm not going to be using the device with the 12 words that I'm going to show you now. I will be setting it up separately after that. Okay, so I'm choosing 12 just for the tutorial. Let's confirm this, and I'm starting. Oh, actually the first word. As you see, if I actually miss something, I can go back. This is good. So my first word is notice. Second is animal, wife. Then I have number 4, nerve. And it's important to write them down in the same order, because later on I will be asked for these words, and I will have to repeat. I will have to basically know which word is what number. So if I get that wrong, it's not gonna help me. Okay, and that's it. These are the 12 words. Alright, so I've got the words penned down. Now I will need to confirm them. So this is the next step. It's important that you check and you make sure that you've got everything right. Let's go. So the first one is notice, the second one is animal, third one is wife, fourth is nerve, 5 is canon, then we have excite, saddle, submit. Okay, that's correct. I've got them written down in the right order. Now it's going to ask me to confirm them here. So my 9th one, I will need to say which one it is. And 9th is belief. Okay, 5th is canon. As I said, it will actually ask you to confirm certain words in the right order. So number 11 is saddle. There we go. And that's it. After I confirm 3 of these, it recognizes that I got them in the right order. That's enough. This is done. The next step is to select a pin. Okay, it's a 4-digit pin. In my case, that's what I will go for. Let's go for 5. Then I wanted to put 2. Okay, confirm. The next one is 6. And the next one will be 8. All right. So this is what I'm going to do here. I'm confirming, and now it's going to ask me to repeat it so that we are making sure that everything is correct. 6 and 8. And I'm confirming. Okay, so this wallet has now been created. This is done. This is everything that you need to do here in terms of setting up. Let's quickly go through the different settings so that we see what else we have here. So in security, we can change the PIN. We also have the blind signing. I am not going to turn this option on just yet. This is for DeFi transactions. Sometimes DeFi transactions could be quite complex, and it's with some hardware wallet devices, sometimes it's difficult to actually sign certain transactions. So turning on this option, blind signing, is making them easier. It might not be the most secure though. So bear that in mind. There is a full blog that they have a whole post where they explain the advantages of blind signing and you know, the threats, the pros and the cons. So I would suggest that you go and check it out if you're going to be using DeFi platforms with this device, so that you are familiar and you know whether you want to go for that option or not. From the get-go, I'm not going to go with that option. If I need it later on, then I can turn it on. All right. Now here is my recovery phrase to verify it. If I want, I can go here, and first I am asked for my PIN, which I will enter now, and let's just do that. And now it's going to show me these words, the recovery words, the recovery phrase. I need to do it myself, in fact. Which, you know what, I'm not going to bother right now, but if I want to verify my recovery phrase, I can type it one by one each word, and then it's going to confirm whether I got it wrong or whether I got it right. Now, because this is just for the test, for this tutorial, I don't really care that much about it, even if I make a mistake right now. But when you are going to be using this for real, and you're going to be adding, you know, a lot of crypto coins and, you know, a lot of money in there, you want to actually double and triple check everything. So I would suggest that you go to this recovery phrase verification, go through it, make sure that everything is correct one more time. All right. This is where you can choose a passphrase if you want to, because you have a PIN code, but you can also have a passphrase on top of it, just as an extra layer of protection. I would suggest that you do that. I'm not gonna do it right now because this is, again, just a quick setting up tutorial. I don't really want to make this video half an hour or something, so I'm not going to be doing everything here, but you should really use a passphrase. And the reset option is if you actually want to reset it, something that I will be doing after this tutorial, because I just set it up and I showed you the seed phrase. Of course, I will not risk, you know, having all that data exposed and then going in. Even if I change, you know, the PIN code or the passphrase, whatever, if you have that seed phrase, that's all you need. You can now sweep this seed phrase into another device, or even not a device, you can even sweep it into a software wallet like Exodus or Coinomi or something, and you can access whatever coins I would have in my accounts that are protected with this seed phrase without needing my PIN. The PIN you need to actually open this device, but if you have the seed phrase, you don't even need this device or the PIN. So of course I'm not going to be using this seed phrase, and that's why I don't really care for it very much. Okay, what else do we have? The about here is going to tell us what is the current model and what is the firmware version of it and everything. So whenever there is an upgrade for the firmware version, you will be able to see what is your current firmware version and whether you need that upgrade. It will prompt you when you need that upgrade. And then after you do the upgrade, if you want to go and confirm that you actually got everything installed and it is the correct firmware version, you can go here in this setting, the about setting, and you can check it out from here. Okay, and of course you have your serial number, everything that you need. That's about it. This is all we have. It's really not that confusing. They didn't really put too many things in there to make it difficult, so that's why I was saying it is very user friendly, very simple and straightforward to use. Alright, and for this next step I will actually need the website, because I will be downloading the app on my computer. You can do it also on your phone, but I'm actually using my phone to record with it, so it will be easier if I just use my computer and download the app here on my desktop, laptop I should say. But as I said, you can actually use it with Bluetooth and you can connect it to your phone, so you can download the app on iOS, whether you've got an iPhone, or Android. you know, whichever you use. So this is the website, this is the classic here, this is the same page where you will be buying it from. And don't forget, I do have a invite code in the description below, so you can grab it from there and you can buy. But of course it is linked directly here to this official website. I do not recommend that you buy it from Amazon or any third party, you know, other providers, because there's always a risk. We've had with Ledger, there were so many fake ledgers being sold on Amazon at some point that is just not worth it. Even if you find it a little bit cheaper, it will be what, like $5 or $10 cheaper. No guys, it's not worth. So just go on their official website, buy it from here. This is also where you will be getting the app from. So as you see, I actually clicked here in this menu, and let me just, if I make this smaller, okay, so if I make this smaller, we can actually see the menu here, and the app is here. So from here you can select whether you want to download the desktop app. On my laptop, this is what I'll be doing, or you want to maybe just get the browser extension for Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Brave, whichever browser, Edge, whichever browser you're using, or maybe you want the mobile app. Alright, in my case, I will go to desktop app. I will select Windows because right now I'm traveling here with my Surface. So I just need to wait for a few seconds for this to download. Alright, and it's done. Okay, so let's open this and install. Okay, and we're going to run it. Here we go. Okay, and now this is the latest version of the app. It is 4.0.0. Of course, in a few months time they will have another update, so when you are getting your device, depending on, you know, how much later after this video, after I record it, you might have a different version than what I'm having, but it shouldn't really be that different. So, you know, the general stuff, the basics, everything should be pretty much the same as you're seeing it here in this tutorial. So let's close this message and let's get started. I will not be creating a new wallet. I already have a wallet. I will be connecting my hardware wallet. You know, the creating and the importing, these are also functions that you have directly on the device, that you don't really need this app in order to do these steps, as you just saw. So now we're just going straight to connect hardware wallet, and of course I need to grab my cable, so give me a second. Well, the device originally comes with this cable, which is USB-C to USB-C. So this will be ideal for connecting it to a mobile phone or you know, to another device that is using a USB-C, but my Surface laptop is actually using the good old-fashioned USB regular, so that's why I needed to grab a different cable. Okay, so now that I've got that handy, let's connect the device to my computer, and of course I need to power it. And as you can see, it recognizes it here. So I'm going to select this and I need to enter my PIN. The PIN is displayed here, but I will need to press on my monitor. I will need to press the correct digits. All right. So what was it? 5, which is this one here. Then it was 2, which is this. Then it was 6 and 8. Let's see. It's ready. All right, let's go. Okay, this is all fine. I will allow this, even though I don't really care so much for these notifications because I do monitor the market all the time, but let's allow everything. And let me move my screen so that we can actually see as much as we can. So hopefully here I'm not really hiding anything important. Let's first go and go to accounts and change from here, from Ethereum to Bitcoin. So as you see up here is where I can actually change all of that. I don't really have to be downloading the apps on the actual device, and this is a major difference with many of the other devices, because with Ledger, for instance, that is one of the big problems for people, because the Ledger device itself has a limited capacity and you can upload up to 10, maybe 12 applications, which means 12 different blockchains for tokens that you are going to be holding. So if you have more than that, then one Ledger X or Nano S is not going to be enough. And I know people who actually have 3 or 4 devices in order to be able to hold all of the tokens that they need to keep. So here it's actually all done via the application. The application is the one that is connecting to the different blockchains and everything, and you can see how many of them. You know, these are the blockchains. I mean, of course, once you go into one of those blockchains that have multiple tokens, like Polygon or Ethereum, you know, then, or BNB Smart Chain, you know, then you can actually access all of the tokens that these blockchains are holding. Of course, here by default, you only see a few of these. You know, you see the Binance USD, the BUSD Ethereum version. They also have a Binance version. So if you go here on BNB Smart Chain, you will also be able to see the BNB token, the Binance version. Of course, it's the first one, right? And BUSD here, this is the Binance version. So this is a very important thing here that I want to say, is that when you're moving tokens from exchanges, you always have to make sure that you are moving them to the right blockchain. Tokens like stable coins, you know, like Tether and USD Coin and BUSD that are on several different blockchains, it's very risky if you actually try to move it from, let's say, BNB Smart Chain to Ethereum chain, or maybe you think it's an Ethereum chain and you're sending it to BNB Smart Chain instead. This is going to be very bad, because you will be losing these tokens if you do that. Always make sure that you're moving the tokens to the correct blockchain. Okay, before I do the transaction, let me quickly go into some of the other options here, just to have a quick look at what we are dealing with here in the app. So first of all, here is my OneKey Classic. If I click and if I have several of these devices, I will be able to navigate between the devices from here. Okay, these are the accounts. So currently I selected Avalanche just to see what it has, because I will most likely do the test here with AVAX tokens, Avalanche tokens, because I do have a few here that right now I have spare. The rest of my tokens are actually sitting in orders, and I am actively trading with them, so that's why I wouldn't really want to be making transactions with, you know, any of the tokens that I currently have on the exchanges. The market here is showing me actually the different tokens. If you have selected different tokens here as a watch list, they will be showing up here. My watch list is empty right now because I haven't actually selected any, but you can either arrange them by market cap or by trending, the top gainers, top losers, gamify tokens, DeFi tokens, NFT tokens, you know, whatever you like. So this is good. This is actually just a typical data aggregator. So you can actually monitor the different prices and everything of tokens that you want. And, you know, if you put stars here, you add them to your watch list, then you will be able to monitor just the ones that you are currently holding or the ones that you're interested in, whatever it is. So this is also very handy. You know, we are using data aggregators anyway all the time, so you might as well just use it here from this app. This is where you can actually swap between different blockchains, between different tokens and everything. And of course you have the NFT option. I also talked about that, but today we are starting with the first steps. We're not going into these complicated transactions here. I'm just going to add Avalanche AVAX tokens as a test. It's the same process that will be with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with BNB chain, with you know, whichever chain, other chain that you want. In my case, I will simply be adding AVAX because right now I have some of those and I actually haven't set up any orders with them, and this is the only reason why I'm choosing to actually work with AVAX for this test. Otherwise, typically I do it with either Litecoin or Bitcoin, but right now I do have orders placed for this. So okay, the first thing I need to do is grab my address. All right, so let's check my address on the device, and of course I need to first log in into the device. I need to enter my PIN code, which you can see here. It is scrambled, so every time this will be displayed in a different order, and I need to remember now what it was. It was 5268, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, and you can see the address is being displayed here. Let me just make this a bit more clear. Yeah, so we can see the address on the device. We can also see the address on the monitor here, and I need to make sure that they're identical. All right, and from the look of it, they are perfect. Okay, so I will confirm here that I've double checked the address and that it's correct. Now I'm going to copy this address and I will go, in fact, what I will be doing is I will be sending it directly from my phone. So what I can do is go here into my wallet and open the Avalanche application, and I will be sending. And of course I will be scanning this QR code. It's the quickest and easiest way to do it. So I just scan the barcode, the QR code. The address is already populated here. I will do 1. Okay, let's confirm. So this has now been sent. All right. Okay, so let's see now if we received it here, and it will show up here if I have, yeah, it shows me $15.69, which is literally the price of one AVAX right now. And here we can see it, 1. All right, so this is all I've got. I can't really see it here in the device because, as I said, they're not really stored on the device. The device is only protecting your private keys for this blockchain that I have created when I when I first opened this account, and now all the connection, all the communication is happening through this app. But when I need to send this money from here, I need to approve it on the device. So without this device, I will not be able to send this one AVAX back into the wallet where it came from. So this is very important, and this is why these devices are so secure, because without the device, even if someone actually hacks your computer, and they can see this right now, they can open this application and try to do something with it, they still have to approve that transaction on the actual device. So without the device, they can't do it. That's the most important part. So let's do that now. I will go to send. So I have it here. You see the price in dollars, but don't get it confused. I actually right now hold 1 Avalanche token, AVAX. That's what I hold. It's not $15.83. This is the approximate value. But of course, this value changes every minute, every second, right? Because these are volatile currencies, or I should say cryptocurrencies. Right. Okay, let's go to send. And now I need to enter the address. Okay, so here I'm going to use paste. I'm not trying to type anything. I'm not scanning either because I'm using my computer, and the easiest way was to just paste it. Okay, let's go next. And here I'm going to select that 1 AVAX. Now, however, I am going to be receiving 0.99934375. As you see, there is a small fee that I will be paying. In fact, I can change that fee. If I go into normal, it will be much lower than the fast transaction. and the rapid transaction is also a little bit more expensive. So you can see it here. Let's go for the normal. Let's see how slow this actually is. I think it's very quick anyways, right? So I'm going to apply. So this is how you can actually change your transaction fee on any of the different blockchains. For Ethereum, this will be very important because Ethereum fees are quite high, and you can actually go to a lower fee, Bitcoin as well. So this is very intuitive, very easy and straightforward. And this is all I need to do. Let's go to confirm. Here at first I need to enter my PIN again because the device went into sleep mode. So let's do that. I think I got it correct. Yes, I did. Perfect. And as you see now, I need to actually confirm this here on the device. So without this device, I will not be able to do this transaction. I can see here exactly what I'm sending. So after the fee, this is the amount that I will be getting into my wallet. Let me just make this a little more clear. Okay, hopefully that's clear enough. So this is the wallet address that I'm sending it to. And then I need to just confirm. And the transaction has been submitted successfully. If I click here, view details, it's going to send me to the explorer of this blockchain, and here I can see the confirmations when they arrive and everything. I can see all the details of this transaction, you know, where it's coming from, where it's going to, what is the fee that I paid, all of these things. And here, if I scroll down in my history, I can see what I received and I can see what I sent. So, you know, as you can see, pretty much the same amount. Slight difference because of the fee. That's it. This is how you do it. Now I just have to wait for a few more seconds in order for the transaction to be confirmed and to be completed. For the moment, I can't really see it here, so I need to go to the Avalanche. Oh, success. Okay, it's done. I already got the 3 confirmations. It is successful. Green here indicates that transaction has been confirmed and is now completed. This is the process. Alright guys, well this is everything for today's tutorial. I hope this made things much easier and clear for you. Of course, if you haven't seen my review of this hardware wallet and my interview with the head of business development, Sean Han, then make sure that you go and check it out. It will pop up here right now in the top corner, but also it will be linked at the end of this video. So definitely make sure that you go and check it out. We talked about the security of the device. We talked about any issues in the past that they've had, and you know, pretty much everything that is important and that you need to know if you're going to be having and using this device and any of the other products of OneKey. So that was a very insightful conversation that we had with Sean, and I did include it in its entirety in my video review. So go and check it out. Well, this is everything from me. Make sure that you check out the links in the description below, where I drop the links to all of the crypto services that I'm personally using and that I recommend to you, including the link for this device. If you haven't purchased yours yet, then you can go and get it from my link. This will be much appreciated. This is everything from me. Thanks for staying until the end of this video, and while you're here, just check another one of my videos and I'll see you there.